You probably have been noticing there's so many different new modalities, and subject on trauma become very popular. I noticed some people who are never named their work trauma, now they start calling it trauma. I just seen today one of my Tantra teacher, she just released a course training on trauma healing for Tantric practitioners. And I was like, this is interesting because I think there's a lot of going on collectively, and I like to call things as they are. There's a lot of traumas happening, and it's good to name it. And as Taki said, working with trauma can be very challenging, but I find it also by bringing a lot of playfulness and sense of humor helps to not make this subject very serious. It is a serious subject, but it helps to also bring some sense of humor and playfulness. So what trauma really is, it's when we're exposed to any circumstances or external factors that are too much, too overwhelming for coping, our mechanism of our nervous system, the trauma start being registered in ourselves, in the body. The attribute of trauma, we can say it's about compressing, contraction, freezing, kind of diminishing and squeezing in the body. And because of that quality of compressing, trauma really immobilizes very often our normal lifestyle. So it can affect our digestive system, our circulation, our libido, our sexual life. It can affect our mood swings. We can go into depressive states or moods that really are long-lasting. And so it's very important to understand also and see that we are born with different sensitivity. We come with different sensitivity into this world, and we can divide that. We are exposed to some bigger experiences. We call it big T, big trauma, where it could be related to childbirth, difficulty with childbirth, some physical abuse, or maybe sexual abuse, or something that is really have big physical impact on our life, on our nervous system. And it could be also small T, which can be just small interruption, like for the child not receiving nourishment, food when they need, or care or loving touch. It could be also traumatic. So it could be small interruption. But if we are born with this sensitivity, it could be also leaving a mark in our body, because trauma is living in the body, in the physical body. Yeah? It doesn't live in the past experience, but it's stored in the physicality. It's recorded by our tissues, by muscles, tendon, ligaments. And there's a book, some of you might heard, Body Keeps Its Score, Bessel van der Kolk, and he talks about it. He talks about how we register those past experiences in our body. So what really means to heal the trauma, in my understanding, is how we can start regulating nervous system, how we can start coming into ventral vagal complex. So there are two major responses of sympathetic nervous system, or fight or flight activation. When something is too much, the sympathetic nervous system starts, so we either run away or we fight the situation. And then if that threat is too much, the parasympathetic nervous system switches to either dorsal vagal complex, which is freeze, disassociation, fear, or there is also ventral vagal complex in the parasympathetic nervous system, which is constantly scanning our environment for feeling safety. So we are constantly looking how to be safety with ourselves, how to be in that state of rest, digestive regulation, how we can feel secure in our environment. And when that balance between dorsal and ventral vagal complex is interrupted due to some traumatic event, we're living in a state of constant anxiety or stress or fear, constantly feeling that there's a danger around. You might have had this experience that you entered a room and you felt that you are in danger. You felt afraid of people being in that room. And it could be only a few people, but this sense of fear. And this is simply because ventral vagal complex is not it's not aligned in a way to find that security with ourselves. So we constantly feel that there is certain threat around us. So one thing is how through spontaneous movement, through conscious expression, through mindfulness, through breath also, we can come to that state of ventral vagal complex, of the safety. How we can discharge from the body these past memories that are living, creating the armoring, creating the tension in the soft tissue. How we can find a way to touch upon our shame, fear, rage, and express it in manageable way, that it's safe for our nervous system, that it's not cathartic, that it's not overwhelming. And when we can reach to that point, when we can close the cycle of fight or flight and express ourselves, being conscious of the expression, then we might have access to the ventral vagal complex and we can feel safe in our life. And our digestive system can improve, our circulatory system can improve, our sexual energy can improve, and whole other systems that are related to the nervous system go into this equilibrium to be in alignment and functioning properly. And so maybe I talk about it in a moment, but why we emphasize so much about body and somatic orienting practices in healing trauma is because when we are in this traumatic experience, there is very compassionate mechanism of our body to disassociate us from feelings of pain and disassociate us from the sensations also of pain. Because when we go through a traumatic event, the fear and the sensation that are accompany that event can be too much. It's overwhelming. So we're switching off. So we're switching off, and it means that we are disassociating from the physical body. And the safety is in present moment in the body. So by building the awareness of the body, building awareness of our sensation, bringing aliveness again to the places that we lost connection with, it gives us access to our feelings. And then we can express our feelings in present moment, whatever those feelings are. And we don't anymore deny our feelings. We not anymore suppress our feelings, but allowing to express. And what it does also, it opens up those huge energy channels in our body, because we are by keeping the tension in the body from that past traumatic event, by keeping those unexpressed feelings, we lose tremendous amount of energy to hold all this tension together in the body. And by expressing, by allowing this fluidity of expression, now we have access to the life force. And I'm sure each one of us had a moment or express in our life when we had this life force energy flowing through the body. It feels pleasurable, it feels joyful, it feels connected. And this is the state we want to bring in our life. That's that state of free flow energy through the body. And then the last part is, what is the safe way of releasing trauma? So I want to talk very briefly about two concepts, which is titration and pendulation. So if some of you are studying already trauma, maybe somatic experiencing or biodynamic breathwork trauma release, or internal family system, or CI, compassionate inquiry, you will come across those terms. And those terms were coined by Peter Levine, the founder of somatic experiencing. So what it means to titrate in trauma work is to keep on discharging in a manageable way, in a very short portion of discharge our feelings or discharge of energy or our voice or expression. And perhaps you have been practicing some modalities that are emphasizing on a lot of breathing, fast charge, lot of expression, cathartic expression. And you might have noticed that by doing that, there is a sense of feeling that to heal the trauma, we need to push ourselves. We need to go beyond our comfort. We need to, push ourselves to express our vulnerability to the point that it's too much, maybe sometimes for us. And this is false belief in trauma healing, because by pushing ourselves to the limit, we actually re-traumatizing our nervous system. We are keeping our nervous system in more sympathetic activation, and this is contraindication to actually trauma healing, and it's completely opposite to titration. In titration, we want to tap into these strong feelings that we have difficulty, maybe sadness, maybe shame, maybe fear. Tap upon it, discharge a little bit so it's not overwhelming, and then again a little bit more, and then a little bit more. And this is all within the resonance, within resourcing also. So we constantly keep it in the safe, in the safety of our nervous system, in the safety that our nervous system can contain those expressions. And the other one is pendulation, when we actually move between the place of charge and the place of safety, resourcing. So the pendulum, like in pendulum in the clock, it comes from one side to another, from one extreme to another extreme. Similarly, in trauma healing, in different modalities, that when you come across the safe modalities, you will be noticing it's not about pushing you to the limit where you blow up with your expression and then you come back for a long time feeling like, what just happened to me? Those modalities that are safe in trauma healing will take you for a moment to place of charge, that you tap upon those challenging feelings, and then you for a moment stop there, you feel, you resonate with what's happening, and then you come back to the resource again. And then again, next time when you go into charge, you might go a little bit farther, and then a little bit farther, and eventually when you tap into the core of this expression, it is already in the safety of your body. And this way you can really bring long-lasting results of trauma healing that is coming from the softness, actually, that is coming from being connected to your expression, connected to your feelings. So this today masterclass, I will take you into the journey where we will use breath, we'll use movement, sound, and emotional expression to use those elements. Sometimes I will ask you to slow down, to feel for a moment. We go into the still point, and then those will be moments where I will be inviting you to reflect. What's really happening for you? What are you sensing? What you're feeling? What's your emotional state? And then again, we'll go. So we'll be moving with the breath and a movement between these two places between charge and the resource. We will be using in the session, the moment we'll go into the session, we will be using a few types of breath. In the first phase, I will guide you to find a resource where we'll slowly breathe through the nose. This type of breath is more bring us to parasympathetic stillness. And after this, we'll go a little bit more charged. We'll swap the breath from breathing in through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. And then at some point, we'll go maybe with a little bit deeper expression with breathing in and out through the mouth. We'll start from sitting, and then eventually I will invite you also to go and for standing, connecting with your feet, and then we'll go with some connected movement with unwinding, opening our spine, opening the joints, the muscles. Occasionally, I will also invite you to use your touch. Touch is an amazing tool, and sometimes we might feel some tension in our body. So by self-body work, you might find this, tight place, maybe on the side of the neck, maybe at the back of the neck, on the occiput. Perhaps there's some tension in your shoulders, or in the sternum, in the chest, or diaphragm. So we might be going with our hands and finding those spots and using the fingertips or thumbs in different area of the body, and using it like a self-healing tool, using it like a pressure points to open up those knots, because fascia and the soft tissue register some tension in the body throughout the day. And with the self-touch, we can open those knots. And when we open the knots, the energy flows through the body. So those will be elements we will be using in today's practice. So breath, some movement. If any sound comes, any expression comes, feel free. Nobody can hear you. And some touch. And all this is also anchored within meditation, mindfulness, so you can constantly keep on checking what's present for me. The mantra for today's class is what I'm sensing, what I'm feeling, what's present right now for me. And moment to moment with each breath, check, because the sensations are constantly changing, the feelings are constantly changing, they're dynamic and they're moving. So throughout this next whatever minutes we have for practice, keep coming back to yourself. And the last thing I want to mention is, I don't know how many of you have, let me put in the gallery so I can see, how many of you have never done breath work before, online class or any type of breath work? Is there anybody like this? Then please put electronically your hand up, or, okay, Sana, never done it. Okay, the reason why I'm asking this, because when we go with a little bit deeper breath, you might be experiencing a concept, something which is called tetany. What it is that you might be feeling constriction around your limbs, your mouth, or your hands. When that happens, I will invite you to slow down the breath, change it to nose breathing, a little bit softer, come back to yourself. And when tetany disappears, soften up, then come back to the practice, to the group practice. Tetany comes simply when we start breathing, the chemical structure in our bloodstream changes between potassium, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and that creates that vessels, blood vessels sometimes construct, they narrowing, and then we might feel that kind of feeling. So don't freak out, it's gonna pass, it's not gonna stay, and you will go through it. It might happen, I'm not saying it will happen, sometimes it happens, but I like to mention, because if it happens and we don't know, it can be quite challenging. Do you guys have any questions before our practice? Any questions, anybody? Okay, I will set up my music. Good. So let's just start from a moment of stillness. I invite you to sit in comfortable position, ground your feet, ground your pelvis, keep your spine straight so you can take more oxygen into your lungs. Imagine there's a thread pulling you up from the top of your crown, from the top of your head, and gently lifting all your torso, lifting all your thoracic segment, opening the spaces between each vertebra in a soft way. So just breathe into this lightness, like this invisible force that pulls you up a little bit, opens up your shoulders, your chest, your clavicles, breathe through the nose, and start exploring quality of your breath, the moisture, temperature. Allow the breath to reach your back, the top of the lungs. Feel your seat bones. Open your diaphragm. Keep your belly relaxed. Belly is element of water, emotions. With every breath, drop any tension from the body. Keep on relaxing. Sensing your body, finding place of resource. Where is a place where you feel safe in your body? Where is the place where you feel more nourished, more connected? Place your hand in this area. Maybe it's your heart, maybe it's your belly, maybe it's your shoulder or hand, whatever it is. Connect with the place of safety in the body, resource. And breathe into this place. Allow the breath to clear out, oxygenate, bring more vitality into the body. Coming into the safety of being present with yourself. Noticing also any tension. If you find some place of tension, also breathe into that place so you can keep on dropping into relaxation, keep on dropping into letting go. And the breath is flowing constantly. There's no gap. Inhalation, exhalation. Inhalation, exhalation. Let your breath to guide you in this first part. Finding also intention. What's your intention? And from here, we will deepen our breath, each inhalation a little bit deeper. And I invite you to start slowly bringing gentle spinal movement. Imagine you are suspended in the lukewarm water or liquid, and this liquid is moving your body, opening your spine. It's a soft, gentle movement, like we are floating. And this movement goes all the way from the sacral bone through the lumbar spine, going into thoracic, and also the neck, cervical spine, all the way to the top of the head. So your spine becomes like a rubber snake. There's no vertebra anymore. All is one soft, flexible core. And through the movement, find those places where you might feel a little bit stiff and allow the movement to melt them, the breath and the movement melting. Deepening the breath. And expanding the movement into different joints, maybe shoulders. Shoulder joint is so important for deep breath. So squeeze your shoulders, bring some movement. Squeeze your back, the scapulas. Allow the breath to reach there, into your back. Include your arm movement, maybe making circular movements of the arms or stretching them in different directions, opening the sternum, the chest, the heart. Constantly checking in what's in present moment. Free, authentic expression, whatever it is for you. Spontaneous movement, creative. Opening neck also, maybe you can touch if you want with the movement and find narrow spots in your neck or face or maybe jaw. Explore a little bit with the touch. Maybe occiput with your thumb or jaw. or temporal bones. Now we go to deepening our breath. Inhale nose, exhale mouth, a little bit deeper. We move a little bit with the charge. Maybe opening sternum with the fingertips around your heart. Sometimes this area can store a lot of tension. Stretching the sternum, the thorax. Allow this beautiful deep breath. Let it flow. Expressing your unique energy, your life force, how you can bring unrestricted expression, free from any tension, free from any restriction. And if there's an emotion, check what is the emotional state. If you feel like there's some expression that comes and a sound, which can allow also to open your throat. A powerful instrument, our voice. You can hum or maybe voice the vowels. Opening your throat, maybe singing, or just allowing the sound. Gibberish. Bring awareness to your diaphragm, thoracic segment. Maybe there's some places in your spine that it still feel this slight tension there. Keep on melting those areas. Let the breath flow. Don't stop the breath. In and out, in and out. If you catch yourself stopping the breath, bring yourself back. Bring yourself back. Where else you feel some tension, keep opening through the touch, breath, movement. Keep the spinal movement, the spinal motion, that it's fluid, either side to side or front to back. This movement opens up the main branch of our nervous system. It runs through the spine. For a moment, bring your expression slowly to stillness. Slow it down for a moment. Slow it down. We will pendulate. So find a still point for a moment. Softening the breath. Maybe again connecting to your resource with your hand. And checking what is present right now. Giving space for ventral vagal complex to play part now into orientation of safety. And then we'll come back again to the breath, deeper breath. And this round you can start breathing through the mouth. So in mouth and out mouth. Again, continuing the movement. Again, coming into the movement. Charging a little deeper. If you feel like at this point we can go to standing, so you can ground yourself with the feet and allow the movement to continue. Include the pelvis, include the feet, the legs, opening the belly. And allow this free flow movement through whole body. From the feet all the way to the crown, through the pelvis. Free and restricted movement with the breath, deeper breath. Take yourself a little bit more. Maybe sound wants to come, allow the sound. Breathing into the heart, self-love, compassion. Deeper breath. Breathing into the pelvis, relaxed belly, relaxed diaphragm. Let your breath to reach all the way down to your sexuality, to your legs. Becoming conduit between sky and the earth. Let the energy, let the breath flow through you. Fully open, flexible spine. Let the spine become soft. Every joint in the body becomes soft. Doing some rotations, movement. continue with the movement a little bit more vigorous. So I invite you to really stand, connect with your feet, connect with your pelvis, and deepen the breath. Stay with deeper breath. If you feel like you can go to a little bit of shaking or unwinding, really shake all the tension off your body, off your spine. Anything that you stored, shake it off with the movement. Full deep breath, full deep breath. Stay present to your expression, stay present to your feelings, to the breath. Don't push yourself to extremes. Just stay with the softness of the movement. Full deep breath. Staying with your breath. And we'll shift to continuing still, the unwinding the movement, but bring softness into it. Continue standing, bring softness into the movement. Check what has opened in the body. Bring more breath into those places. Bring more liquid, more fluid in the body. Lubricate every joint in the body, every single ligament, tendon, spaces between the muscles. Everything becomes fluid. With softer breath, deeper but softer breath. Keep on floating.
Agua pura, agua limpia, agua de vida, agua cura, agua cura.
How you can make the movement lighter, softer, more connected. Let your breath guide you.
And her daughters to care for the freshest of waters. Life giver, river she flows, a well-wisher deeper than we'll ever know. Water, planet, garden sublime. It's time to drink deeply, aligning the mind. Blessing of rainwaters ever in motion, nourishing life with the purest devotion. Waters healing, waters cleansing, waters purifying, waters healing, waters healing, waters cleansing, waters purifying, waters healing.
Coming back to your resource, to the breath. slowly finding way to slow down the movement, coming back to the stillness, coming back to center. Just observing what's present. Softening the breath. And observing any sensation in the body, any feelings. Maybe some tremor, slight tremor arrive. Just observe all this. What are you sensing right now? You can slowly come back to the sitting. We'll go into integration. Stay with the softer breath through the nose. Check what is the difference now in your breath, how your breath is flowing now, what has changed. Dropping in the stillness, finding this still point in the center. Observing softly breath. The sound of the breath, the texture.
Zamknij oczy i wsłuchaj się w dźwięk, czym jest wszystko, co otacza Ciebie, gdzie jest źródło tego, co jest, gdzie doświadczasz wszystko, na zewnątrz czy wewnątrz siebie. Gdzie mnie widzisz, czy wewnątrz siebie, gdzie mnie widzisz teraz, czy widzisz widzisz mnie w sobie? Czy widzisz mnie w sobie? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz teraz? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie? Gdzie mnie widzisz? Gdzie mnie widzisz? Gdzie mnie widzisz teraz? Czy widzisz mnie w sobie? Czy widzisz mnie w sobie? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz teraz? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie? Kim jestem i czym jest ja? Jak długo błądzić mam? W zapomnieniu, w zapomnieniu. Na zewnątrz nie ma nas. Światło i przestrzeń nas decyduje o istnieniu, o naszym istnieniu. Kim jestem i czym jest ja? Jak długo błądzić mam? W zapomnieniu, w zapomnieniu. Na zewnątrz nie ma nas. Światło i przestrzeń nas decyduje o istnieniu, o naszym istnieniu. Gdzie mnie widzisz? Gdzie mnie widzisz? Gdzie mnie widzisz teraz? Czy widzisz mnie w sobie? Czy widzisz mnie w sobie? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz teraz? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie? Gdzie mnie widzisz? Gdzie mnie widzisz? Gdzie mnie widzisz teraz? Czy widzisz mnie w sobie? Czy widzisz mnie w sobie? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz? Gdzie mnie słyszysz teraz? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie? Czy słyszysz mnie w sobie?
And taking a few deep breaths. Whenever ready, opening your eyes. And just reorient yourself, look around your space. See the colors, the shapes. Start paying attention to smell, taste in your mouth. Maybe touch your hands or squeeze your arms so you can safely come back from this session. Very beautiful, very touching. Some of you guys are with camera off, but if you can switch the camera on at the end, we will have some sharing, or maybe somebody wants to ask a question. We have 10 or 15 more minutes.